Hello everybody and welcome to Nemoria. My name is Gank and this is my Surviving Nemoria series where I'm going to be doing a few videos in a short series about the game Nemoria, highlighting a simple starting strategy which will keep you safe for those first few critical seasons. I'm assuming everybody knows what Nemoria is because you likely came here from some search engine such as YouTube or Google or whatnot. If you don't know, Nemoria is a sandbox village management game. It has isometric graphics, and I like to call it a cross between Dwarf Fortress and Minecraft. Now, I know the purists out there, it's nothing like Dwarf Fortress. I don't want to get into that. It's just that you take a group, you issue orders to them, and they follow those orders out. It's like Minecraft in that every single square or hex in the game can be altered. It can be mined, it can be dug, it can be transformed, it can be replaced with something else. You essentially take your small group of nomadic nomads. You're in this hostile, empty place, and you have to get yourself set up with food, with water. You got to keep them happy. You have to dig down into the ground for precious metals to make weapons, armor, and tools. So yeah, a sandbox village management game in which you are free to shape the world as you see fit. So my simple strategy, which works for pretty much any map that I've ever tried, started as a blog post on my blog, which is linked in the description. And I did that post quite a while ago, and it still remains one of my most visited blog posts. So there is some interest in Nemoria. It's in alpha stage right now. It's still being developed. The build you're looking at currently is 8.27. As of 8.25 or 6, the developer, who's just a single guy, redid all the crafting, added new things to build, added new ways of doing things. So I'm interested in taking a look at what he's done. I haven't actually played the game in the last few months. So yeah, I'm excited to do this, and that's why I'm going to do it as a sort of a short series. I don't think it's going to turn into a full-blown Let's Play. That said, if there's enough interest, I'd be happy to do that. So we start here with our little group of nomads over here, where you can zoom in there for you, and there they are. You start out with 6 nomads, and I think it's 6. Check the population, maybe a few more than that. Yeah, there we go, 9 guys, and actually it'll say up there in population kingdom, gives you your lowdown population 9. They're all pre-assigned occupations, and they're all very good at those occupations. There's no sense messing with that at the moment. Like I said, this isn't a full-blown tutorial, though I will be giving hints and tips as we go, or what I think are hints and tips. If you know better than me, please be sure to comment in here. So I'm assuming you know how to move your way around the map and whatnot, and I've had a bit of familiarity with it. What I'm focusing on is the starting strategy, seal yourself in. It seems pretty simple, but I've watched a lot of Let's Plays where guys are going ahead building stuff, they're being attacked by goblins, and their guys are dying and they're building graveyards, and it's all quite unnecessary. You can keep yourself safe from the start by just sealing yourself in. You can do that in a couple ways. You can build, a square wall around yourself, or you can do what I like to do, and that's just simply remove the monster's access to your kingdom. And this is done most simply through the use of the remove ramp option, which is of course there under your terrain feature. Now this game has hotkeys, so I have mapped a few already for mining and building walls, so if you see me building stuff quickly, that's why. So just before we get started, a bit of housekeeping. I'm going to try and keep this flowing along at a nice pace. If I'm wondering about something or want to look at something, I will likely pause the video. I don't think you guys want to watch me hum and haw and think or stare at a map for very long. Um, so that said, this strategy, you can work with any map you fancy. Some guys like to build, they like the flat maps, they want to build castles in the air. Some guys like to, dig out these large mountains and turn them into citadels. Some guys go underground. Really, you can start with any map you like, but what you do need to have, and what's going to be an important thing for you to focus on in the beginning, is you want here, we've got apple trees. Um, There we go. There's the apple tree. You want apple trees and you want access to water somewhere, which I have over here. So when I loaded this map and took a look at it, this is the area I'm going to be focusing on down here. If you can see my mouse roaming in there, because it makes for a nice defensible area where you can seal yourself in. You have access to food and water, which I found is very important in the beginning. I lost a couple kingdoms to starvation and dying of thirst and whatnot, so you definitely want to start with access to apples, which is the easiest food to gather in the very beginning. Now that said, of course, I mean, I looked at this and at the beginning, my first few kingdoms, I was really worried, oh, what am I going to put where? What's going to go here? What's going to go there? The thing is, you can change and move things around at any time. So when you're just starting, just simply do that. Just simply start, and then you can change it later because it's like a house. Once you move in, you're going to see things you didn't notice before. You're going to want to make some changes. How you're going to use this land in this area will change as you get more familiar with it. Now I've taken a look at this map. I haven't played the game, but I just sort of stared at the map for a while. And with a map like this, what I'd be looking at doing is taking this area later on, taking this area here, using it for farmland, ranch land. I'd be digging in here to make my houses and crafting areas. And over here eventually, this is going to be my entrance. I like to make my entrances grand. I like to make them long and trap filled. So the only point of access, I funnel those bad guys in and they come through. And by the time they hit my guard station, they've gone through about 20 or 30 traps and they're almost dead anyway. That said, there's been new monsters added, mounts and such, which I've never seen, so we'll see how that goes later. For now, though, we do need to get started. We need to seal ourselves in. I found for the first season or so, we don't really have to worry too much about being attacked. The game gives you that much of a break, and then after that, the gloves are off, and you're going to be in some trouble if you're not prepared. So taking a closer look at this little area I want to use using the comma and period buttons, of course, you can rotate the map. The only worries are, well, if you don't know, monsters spawn at the edges of the maps. So if you're trying to make yourself safe, make sure you take care of the edges of those maps because that's where the bad guys are going to spawn. That includes up at the top, all down the sides, and around. Now, as I said, access to water is quite important. Our water is over here. Um, you're going to need, of course, a timber to start with. So you want not just the apple trees, but trees you can cut down as well. And yeah, so you want to take a look around and you want to sort of plan where you want things to go. Like I said, keeping in mind you can move everything later. So on a map like this, because I want my main area to be in there, what I'd likely do is just sort of start maybe right in here with my basic crafting, sleeping, and feeding areas. Later on, in terms of my, I want this to be my entrance, so all of that can be moved over here. Right, so we will get started here. I'm not normally the chattiest guy in the world, so if there are moments of silence, bear with me. I've always felt that there's nothing wrong with a bit of silence rather than filling it with pointless rambling. That is my particular style, though, so yeah. And you may also note the FPS thing flying across the screen now and then because I have a pretty bad memory, so sometimes I can't remember if the video is rolling or not. Um, Right, well the game is still on pause as you can see. Now if I was just starting, perhaps I might just work on the lower level here. Now remember, this is just to seal yourself in and later we can expand out and grab other areas that we need. But because I've done this before and I'm a bit greedy, I am going to start with this level up here. Now you see all these ramps here? I am just going to go to remove ramp. You can also use A and D to move, ASD to move around the screen as well. Now you can go like that and just highlight all these areas. You can see they turn yellow when you've got them. And what this does is, as it says, does what it says on the tin. It removes the ramps, which doesn't allow the monsters access to you. That said, it doesn't allow anything access to you, so as part of the strategy, you will have to be aware that you're getting new nomads at the beginning of every season, I believe it is. And the merchants come on the 5th of every season, except in winter. You don't get any new, no new joiners during the winter. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit the game on button, and those guys will start tearing down those ramps. And while they're doing that, I will keep the other guys busy by getting some of these trees cut, because we know we're going to have some trees felled. Don't want to cut down the apple trees yet. When I last played the game, apple was the wood to have. So later on, I'll be using all apple for my wood, but it's going to be my food source. Now, of course, we do have to take care of this over here, because the monsters can spawn up top and come straight down into my little secure area. So I'm going to remove the ramps here as well. Like I said, you can start with an area the size of which you're comfortable with. It's very, very easy to expand later once you're sort of safe and you got some gnomes assigned to your military. But for now, I'm going to grab a lot of that. And I'm also going to get these trees over here felled against the edge of the map, so I can build a wall against it. Like I said, the monsters spawn at the edges of maps, so we want that area basically cleared. Now, you can do metagaming as well. I don't tend to do that, but you could theoretically build a wall around the entire edge of the map and not have any monsters come get you, except for the ones, of course, that spawn underground. So we also, because I might be sealing this area off, I want to make sure all that wood is collected. So I'm going to designate a stockpile. Like I said, this isn't going to stay here. You can change them later. But for now, I just want them to be taking some of this wood and getting it over out of the way. Just pause there for a second to take a look around. So yeah, my gnomes are going there. They're removing the ramps over there, as you can see. Whoops, there we go. Yeah, so they removed them all there. I could have grabbed this third level as well, I suppose. But like I said, we can do that later. So we're going to have a nice large area here. Now, of course, one of the things you need to remember is that where your gnomes start is where those crates are. And they're also where your animals are. Because, I mean, there's two things you don't want. Once you seal yourself in, if a gnome is outside the sealing area, it's a bit of a pain in the butt trying to get them back. So before your area is completely sealed, you want to make sure everybody's in. And you can easily do that just by assigning them tasks so that they're still in the area. So my area there is almost filled up. Now, as I said, I think I'm going to just start in here doing some mining a temporary area for my guys to use. Now, when I first started, I worried about walls and rooms and how big should I make what. And you'll be adjusting all this later. Like, you'll be putting in whatever you fancy, granite walls instead of dirt or marble instead of granite and stuff. So there they go digging away. And my strategy over here is to include the water in my kingdom. So I need to get rid of these trees because, as you probably know, you can't build a wall over top trees. So let's get all of this taken care of. I'll chop those while we're there. I should be a bit more worried about collecting saplings for later, but I'll worry about that in a second. Now, I'm also going to use the forage to get rid of all these strawberries and cotton. You'll collect them, but you also can't build walls where they are. What I'm planning on doing is building a wall. Since I have all this area, I'm going to build a wall up top, straight across there. So I also need to make sure that This area is forged. Now you got the action buttons down here. I played the game when you didn't have this bar, so I often actually forget it's there. So that's why you see me right clicking all the time. And yeah, we'll do a foraging up to there. And we also have to do the fell trees along that same line. And once all that's gone, I'm just going to simply build a dirt wall straight across. And that should seal that area in. And then I'll build a well over there once I find rocks and such. And then very quickly we have to worry about getting our guys someplace to sleep, because if they're not comfortable, they become unhappy, they do less work. And I'm also going to forage this area so it's clear. They do less work, they get more tired, and yeah, the general productivity decreases. You can see there's a day-night cycle. There's also rain been added back in. I have to say, for a one-person developer, he is making very good progress, and he's always quick to address bugs. He's always active on the forums. Unlike some large studios I could name, like Firaxis, who did XCOM, who still months later have bugs. Absolutely unforgivable. So you get a little game like this, you spend $9 on this, I spent 60 on XCOM. Anyway, this is not an XCOM rant, this is a Gnomoria video. So you can check your population up here under status, see what they're doing. So they're all idle, which means, of course, they've got nothing to do, which suggests everything I ordered them to do has been done. So as I said, the monsters spawn on the walls. So what I'm going to do is and there, you see that there, that ramp, that's one I missed. So a guy could spawn right here, come down. So once you get everything sort of set, you just recheck that type of thing to make sure there's no areas that they can come get you at. Because you can see I've covered up this level, but they could spawn down here and then they'd have access from the ramps as well. So I will build a wall across there right now. Yeah, I have that hotkeyed, so we're going to go with a soil wall. Well, this is the first time I've actually seen all these other engraved walls and stuff. Very cool. Right, so for now, we will be safe if I build, yeah, across here. Right, so that'll be a simple wall. I will get the game going again. I'll just double check the other side of this to make sure I didn't miss something. Whoa, what the heck is that? Right, so yeah, you see what I mean. This gnome is just wandering around with absolutely nothing to do. So before you steal them in, you're going to want to make sure that they all got stuff to do. So we will do that now and have them, no, not forage. We will have them, or is it forage? Yeah, it is forage, my bad. Like I said, I've been away a few months. So foraging for some food. And yeah, one of the things about this seal yourself in strategy is your gnomes. I'm going to pause this game here. This happens a lot, so you got to keep track of your guys. Um, you see I built that wall up there, and then they took that ramp out. So these two guys are trapped up here, and if we don't rescue them, they will die. You can always check status to see where guys are going, but now what we have to do is go back and terrain, uh, mine, ramp up. And have to go down to the right level of it. Hang on one second. Yeah, there we go. Build, of course. Build, terrain. You want to build ramp up, made of soil. And you wrote, yeah, accidentally canceled that. There we go. R rotates it. There we go. So they'll build a ramp and then these guys can get back down. In the meantime, I also want another wall across here. which will seal that area in. You can also map where you want your buttons to go. So when I hit my 1 button, it takes me back to my starting position. But if you just go Control and then hit that number, like I just did, now when I hit 1, it's going to take me back here, which is sort of the center of activity for this kingdom. You can see the yellow is where guys have been given orders, but it hasn't started yet. It's likely because they are sleeping. First night, yeah, it says they're sleeping, so everybody's having a bit of a kip. And since there's not much to do while they're sleeping, I am going to speed the game up. Just take a look around and at my walls. It's quite hard to see at night as well, which makes sense, part of the realism of the game. Now I'm building a wall across there. So I kind of want that food and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to designate another area for food and whatnot. And this should also bring the crates that we initially started with back in that starting area. So food, drink. And if I go plant, it should also bring my seeds, which will be in the containers as well. So once they wake up, they should get going to that project. And yes, hopefully they will build that ramp. There they go, moving all the food. Wonder, I haven't tried this before, but if I go to build storage crate, see we've got 3 crates and no barrels. So yeah, I take my 3 crates, put them there. They should be moving them. I'm just going to double check I have no barrels. Storage. Now you can check this of course in your stores, but yeah, I've got 2 barrels, so it's just easier to do it this way. And there we go. Hopefully they'll go grab the barrels that we started with on the other side of the mountain. Looks like they are. Oh, they're taking the stuff out of it anyway. I think that's how you can move barrels and whatnot. Right, so it's daylight and they're back at work. We've got to make sure these guys get freed. Part of the problem, or something I need to check on, is to make sure we have enough dirt. Yes, we do, to build that ramp and build those walls. So I will just check. I'm not sure I can assign build ramp. Yeah, I can't assign it to anybody to increase the priority of it. But what I could do is go dig ramp down right there, and those 2 guys that are there, I think they're miners. No, they're not. So they can't do that. They're builders, yeah. So let's cancel that job. That ain't gonna work. Now the problem, of course, is if those are my 2 builders, that wall might not get built and they might die there. So let's mine that out and we'll know that they're going to be free for sure. And we'll go back to the getting that wall I wanted built, soil wall, all the way across here. I know I'm losing some wood by doing that, but yeah, there they go. So now they've been freed. We also want to replace that wall I just built to seal off that area, as was the intention in the beginning before I crazily walled my gnomes up like some kind of, I don't know, nutty pharaoh who walled people up. Right, that's all fine and dandy. I'm just going to pause for 1 second here. Alright, we do need to make sure that our animals are taken care of. So I'm going to just set up a temporary pasture um, right here. And what this will do is the ranchers will go and get the yaks. Now this area looks fairly clear, so let's go ahead and order our wall built here, which, as I said, will, I think that might be the one that seals us in. I'm going to leave it open by one spot there while we remove the rest of the ramps. Yeah, I think that is going to seal us in. All these ramps have been taken care of here. Oop, yeah, made that same mistake. So enemies can spawn here. This is where my cursor is, and they can of course run down here and give us some problems. So what we're going to need is a wall right across here. And like I said, the tree is in the way of me finishing that off, so I'll have to remove that tree. So that bit's sealed in, sealed. You can tell if it's sealed, like, you know, it's all square. There's no ramps anywhere. But as I said again, guys could spawn here and come running down. So I will have to sort that out by making sure that wall is extended all the way across and perhaps over. Yeah, we'll just build it over. So later on you can make the walls a lot prettier and change the look of things, but this will get you sealed in. And our only open spot is here where that tree was. So I want to make sure that we have all the crates and stuff moved up. There we go. I forgot about the cotton bags. So we'll go back to our area. And what I can do is designate area again. And what do I want it to be? There's cotton in there, so cloth, bolted cloth, string, bandage, mattress. Well, I'll check cloth off just for now, but I think it's under plant as well. Plant. No, it's not. Hang on, I'm going to find out what this is. Uh, yeah, it's seeds. My bad. So plant seeds. I think that should do. Straw and wheat. Yeah, that should do. And then I will go to building the storage, this time being the bags, and then they should move the 2 bags over. Alright, so that's been taken care of. We're waiting for our wall to be built. We could very well be out of dirt. No, plenty of dirt left. Tons of dirt. So up there's that wall again. We need to remember to build that to make sure we're completely sealed in over there. And all along there. Now it's going to be time as well to start getting the crafting undergoing. See, I've paused the game there. It will give my gnome something to do, and it will also start using these stockpiles. So I'm going to build, now this has just been recently added, crude workbench. I'm assuming I won't need one log, 1 stone. I don't have any stone yet, but you can pre-order these things now, or pre-build them before you have what you need. So once I get some stone, they're going to automatically build that for me. Now to find stone, in my experience, if it isn't just staring you in the face, it's best found in these mountains. And this isn't an area I'm likely going to be using, so I'm going to mine into here and dig down and see if I can find some stone in this area. And I'm also going to want to go digging the stairs down. Whoops. Yeah, sometimes Sometimes these squares aren't that easy, but I remember when the game didn't have these little squares, it was quite difficult trying to make sure everything was organized the way you want it. And then we're going to be mining some more wall out here. Likely have to dig some more stairs down. And whoops, again, dig them down into those walls. So it's getting on nighttime again. And most of them are sleeping. You can see my yaks have been moved. Yeah, they have. Now, yeah, I think I'm fully sealed in except for, oh no, not fully sealed in at all. I'm gonna wait till that wall's built over there. Right, so have we found our stone yet? No. All right, well, be mining some more walls out. That's not my mining preset. Need to find some stone lads. And we'll order the stairs down again in the event we don't hit any at this level. Yeah, like I said, this doesn't really matter. It's just I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I'm not a perfectionist, but I mean, I think any fan of these management type games likes things in a particular way. If you didn't like organizing and making sure things were in order, you probably wouldn't be playing this game. Right, so that area there, I think it's still safe. I'm pretty sure, but just to be doubly sure, I'm going to remove this ramp. Make it look nicer as well. Oh no, then he can get in there. Right, so then we will build another wall. Right there. And I'm going to cancel this one so they can get that one built and that one built. And then this will be the only way in at the moment to my aspiring kingdom. Right, I'm going to pause it again here. Check down. Are they sleeping? Yeah, they're sleeping. So I'm going to keep going because we need them awake to do pretty much anything. I can designate this area for sleeping, but it doesn't really matter at this stage if there's no beds to put them in. Now, since I last played the game, the pasture system has changed as well. There's a lot of different options to slaughter them. One of the things you had to do is really make sure that your animal management was in order, but now it's quite easy once you set up the butcher. You can just have them slaughter any animals that are at surplus to your needs. And to keep people, give people stuff to do, you can designate area stockpile and double or just single click on that, move it over, and it just extends whatever stockpile that you currently have on the go. And this is just so things get picked up and my guys have something to do. So there we go. This, yeah, that'll be the only way in once they build that wall over there, which isn't really, well, actually it is necessary, isn't it? Yeah. Double speed so guys wake up. And so we're almost complete here, the seal yourself in strategy. Very simple. Like I said, you will have to, you see up here, third day of spring, year one. On the fifth day of every month, not in the first year though, or actually it is in the first year. If you have a workshop built, the merchant will come in the first year. On the fifth day of each season except for winter, you're going to have to let the merchant in. And on the first day of each season except for winter, you will have to be prepared to let your nomads in. Now, I'm not sure if they will spawn behind here. I know that monsters will spawn behind and be trapped. I'm not sure if your nomads will. But you're going to want to make sure you have that open, because if it isn't open, your new nomads will just sit and wait. And if there's monsters about, they will attack and kill those nomads. So there needs to be a path to your kingdom so that as soon as they spawn, they come straight forward. Same for the monsters, though. If there's a path to your kingdom. Okay, now we're done there. This is the only entrance to my area. So what I want to do is take a quick overview of the world. It's easier at night because they carry flashlights or little lights where they run. You want to make sure that everybody's in. So what you can do is, I'm going to just make sure that this stockpile is extended a bit, just so basically everybody's going to have an order to go grab something and bring it there. And then I'm going to, whoops, I'm way up too high. Scroll down. I'm going to have them build that wall, and that should be it. I will order some more mining over here. Oh, that's my cancel button. That's what that is. And that's, yeah, I'm just remembering my hotkeys here, lads. Sorry. We'll dig this area. So that gives my miners something to do. Everybody else should be running about moving those trees. The yaks are in place. We're still missing a wall here, but it's yellow, so it's been ordered. All right, let's go. And so up here you see I've got 179 food and 111 drink, which is pretty good, but that can go awfully fast. So as I said, you want to make sure you have access to a well. And what is that? Clay? Nope. No dirt. Right, well, we're just going to keep digging. Actually, I'll just go with dig the stairs down until they find me some stone. I could have maybe started in here instead. Don't like to go too far down. I'm not sure what level the baddies start spawning at, but -4 is a bit deeper than I really want to go. So we'll see what we find down here. Dirt again. All right. Well, time for a rethink now. We know we're going to be going into this big mountain at some point, so we may as well go ahead and get going. And where can we dig in? Yeah, it don't matter. Let's get in there and see. Now, to prevent any potential monsters from spawning on us, I'm going to seal that up as well. Make sure nobody's down there. We can always revisit that area if we find something interesting in it. And there we go. All right, so right. Okay. I'm just going to pause here for a minute, guys and gals. Right, so it looks like, okay, that wall's been built. It looks like we are now completely sealed in. Yeah, we are now completely sealed in and safe from marauding goblins, manse, bears, and what have you. It looks like everybody, if you really wanted to check, you could hit your population, go status, and move to or follow to make sure they're in, but I'm pretty confident all my guys are in. So I'm going to pause this here, and when we come back, we will continue our search for stone to get our workbench built up.